Man, you come straight out of a comic.
Let's talk about this Black Panther, man.
All right, we're gonna get
no woman, no cry.
No woman, no cry.
That was Tim singing that.
Yeah, I didn't know
Man,
that at first.
Tim's had me emotional, man.
Yeah,
Bruh,
man.
yeah.
Bruh. When they switched to K-Dot, we go right. Oh, like yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
Did y'all watch Eric Voss?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into it.
Of course. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Straight Out of a Comic Book. We are not going to wait any further. We as you can see, the behind the scenes, we are ready to jump into Marvel's Phase 5 and Phase 6 announcement. As you know, CT doesn't watch any kind of trailers or anything when it comes to this. So we brought my man Clint Coley back in here. Of course, the Council of Clints is here. Eric Deucemonger, Dion Black, and of course, the Pharaoh Dynasty itself is here. And we're going to be getting into all of these names as well because we are talking about the announcements at San Diego's Comic-Con for Phase 5 and Phase 6 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But we're going to track back to Phase 4, the ending of Phase 4, which I think could not be a better ending for this phase with the release of the trailer, Wakanda Forever, the Black Panther sequel. If you didn't cry, you ain't shit. You ain't got no soul.
Ooh. It was terrifying, yo. They opened up with tears. They opened up with what's his name, crying, and I was like, "Why are we doing this?"
Looking out into the ocean, like, dog, they had so many scenes. It's like, bruh.
So,
like,
I'll say this, man. Outside of all the feels that we have for Chadwick Boseman, and all the feels of what we know is coming with Black Panther, because the unexpected, timely death of him. The part I'm excited about was, I can't wait to see this nigga Namor and Ironheart.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what I'm excited about. They're introducing not only just two new characters with, but we're talking again, Young Avengers, Ironheart, you know what I'm saying, which was going to get her own series, but also Namor is officially the first mutant. Not technically.
Right.
Technically, the first mutant is actually is Ms. Marvel.
Well, the way
not Ms. Kamala, but
he's the
but
third.
Namor
Actually,
is technically in the comics. He's the first mutant,
and he is the
but
third
we're rated
one to be acknowledged as a mutant.
Right. And what's dope is that what we get to see now is a whole different piece of Marvel, bro. We're about to see, like, here's the thing: Aquaman is the man technically. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I think Namor, we're about to see the entire realm of Atlantis. Yeah. Like, that's a beautiful piece of cinematography work.
Yeah.
Outside of what I already know about the get from Wakanda. Yeah. Now we're talking about the underwater version of Wakanda.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks we're going to get, and I think in the Phase 4, this is going to be the best Easter egg at the end of a film we've gotten in this whole, like, they're going to reveal some crazy shit. Like, we think we're going to see Dr. Doom or somebody come, or like we're going to see something crazy at the end of the post trailer. So that's what I'm excited about. And that's what I was looking forward to when I saw it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even to piggyback on your Namor thing, I even like how we first got introduced to the mutation thing with Miss Marvel. Mm-hmm. And for those that even don't know, Miss Marvel is a part of the Inhumans, but the person who actually originally created Miss Marvel had gone on interview and saying that at first she wanted Kamala Khan to be a mutant. And so for us to see, like, that's what's now happening in there. But also, too, I love how they're handling mutants. Like, we're now seeing that, no, this has been around. And I like that it's not us getting it from the perspective of just X-Men, but that it's starting to become that global thing, and that we'll get that true Charles Xavier as the person who's studying these mutations and figuring out, because that's the best way you can introduce him without showing him yet. Because as they said, that the X-Men won't be shown nor cast until 2025. For some reason, thanks to the Marvel deal.
So how do you think they should? How do you think they should birth mutants? As in, like, because we've been in this universe for 10 years. No, not one mutant has been mentioned. There's no way they've been hiding for.
Well, technically, the first one that was introduced, and it's sad that it was introduced in a movie, like you said, that didn't come out in time, which was Black Widow. Black Widow actually introduced the first mutant in the MCU, and that is during the scene when Captain Russia was doing the arm wrestling.
The bear dude.
That's the bear dude, which is technically the first mutant that was recognized on there.
But also, so here's what I think that they're going to do, because one, like I said, there's so many implications after the blip, right? That came, right? And I like the fact, like, even if you watch Miss Marvel, like, even old boy was like, yo, there's something different. I think the way they're going to introduce it is whatever happened post blip, it did cause mutants, right? And it's not globally to the point where everybody like, oh, you a mutant, because people know that they're superpower individuals, they're super soldiers, right? So in their mind, when you first see them, you're probably thinking, oh, this is just another Avenger or whatever the case may be, right? Until they get classified as mutants. So I feel like it's going to be a slow roll into it and everything like that. But I wanted to touch on one thing that Clint said that I do love about what's to come with Wakanda Forever. Because, you know, it has like a lot of Wakanda has all those African, themes. It's more, African culture heavy, where it seems like Namor has a Mesoamerican Aztec style, like origin. So it's going to be culture versus culture. Like, I think that this is going to be amazing with that clash, because because then it kind of gets to like, okay, it's not necessarily like, oh, I'm just evil. It's Namor fighting for his culture and his
culture
country.
as well as I'm pretty sure Black Panther died defending his country too. That's how that's the only way,
And shout out to the regular body niggas. Namor has a regular body. He represents.
Ain't no six pack. Ain't no big pit. Like, this nigga built like Clint. I loved it.
He built like he got a dad body. He built like Kevin on stage and shit. Like,
it just came out.
I was like,
tell Kevin sorry for him catching that straight. Yeah. Because no, we all built the same.
Yeah. When I see Namor's back fat, I was like, that's what I'm talking about. They didn't even CGI some muscles in there, but that's what I'm talking about. Let them know. Even though I'm swimming 24 hours, I have no ads.
I love it. Funny. I love seeing them like that. But also, too, it also makes me wonder if they're going to give off the theory about like the Mayans actually originating from Africa. And so,
I don't know what I know, but like to Deuce Monger's point, I do believe. Yeah, I mean, hey man, we in it. I do believe that it is going like they're going like, because don't forget, with the origin story, they have to like if I watch Eric Voss, of course, and he broke down the trailer.
New rock stars,
in the trailer though, there you see a piece from like colonial periods where it looks like there's some colonization going on. Mm-hmm. If they're doing a montage, they're probably starting back from eons long ago before that. Yeah. They're not going to start there. They're probably going to show how Atlantis even came to be. You know what I'm saying?
And it could be too where I'm sitting at that is, I have a feeling, this is just my theory, that they were a part of that original 5 that discovered Wakanda, and those were the ones, just like the Umbari tribe, were pushed back. And so again, too, or it could be the Wakandas, they were the original one, the Atlanteans were the original ones there. The Wakandans came there and then pushed them out. And so that could be another thing that's happening.
But something, I also think, I'm sorry to cut you off, Will, but I also think Vibranium is going to play a big piece in this too.
Oh yeah. Those are the things that we still haven't seen, which is the arms race. And unfortunately they didn't mention Armor Wars when it came to here, but there's a lot of like unique things that they haven't really mentioned yet, which is of course Vibranium and the trades that go throughout the world with that. And even too, back to Eternals, the fact we still haven't heard anything about the fact there's a giant celestial hanging out the top of the fucking earth.
Yes.
When did this happen?
It don't break down. This is not like something you can just put some fire on and melt it down. This is still there.
Nobody's brought this up yet since Eternals came out. So hopefully maybe Wakanda touches on that or something.
Please.
So, but so of course the $1 million question. We have Namor coming. We have Namor coming. And if you do follow like the comics, from seeing the trailer, Wakanda look like it's gonna get flooded.
Yeah, buddy.
It is getting flooded. It's definitely going to get flooded.
They're going to flood Wakanda.
But Will, man, listen, man, the Wakanda joint is great, but I'm sorry, bro. That took a backseat to what the fuck else Marvel did.
Let's keep it in the structure of where it's coming.
Yeah.
So we do know that's coming in November, but let's rewind a little bit and come.
How do y'all think he's going to die in the movie? Because obviously it's a funeral in the beginning, and they are addressing that.
Oh, I think the flood is going to kill him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another line that I think gave me chill bumps is when Angela Bassett screamed out, "My entire family is gone."
Her husband, her
And
son.
I don't think that's at the beginning either. But something she said has me in a thing. So hear me out. And we're going to talk about this a little bit further. I think the Secret Wars are going to be fought on this astral plane. I think wherever Black Panther's astral plane is, Valhalla, and the dunes of Egypt, I think that is one world, and that's where all of them are going to be sent to fight this secret war. For the fact that we're not getting a Doctor Strange 3, so we're not going to get to see the Dark Dimension like that, that's the only place I can see them trying to have secret wars.
And they can bring back Tony Stark. And they could bring back Black Widow, and they could bring back. Ooh.
And then too, think about it. All the ones that died in 838 can come back.
And I'm gonna back you up on that, because if you read the comics, they were taken into a different world. It wasn't our world. It was in, I forgot what dimension.
It was Battle World. It was called Battle World.
Yeah, they was taken into Battle World and to have that fight. And so that makes more sense, because now they've already established these celestial planes and everything. They already established that there's these alternate worlds that are not necessarily universes. That makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Imagine that if the current Avengers are fighting, getting their ass whooped, and all of a sudden, one by one, you start seeing all the ones that died come up like, maybe I can help. Here come Iron Man. Here come,
It's gonna be dope. You know what it's gonna be. You know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be on your left. It's gonna be Cap. He's gonna say on your left, and you're gonna see all the OG Avengers, like it. They're gonna bring that back.
Yeah.
And you get to mix and match with everything we thought of, every fan thing we've put into there. Like, that's the perfect place where Deadpool and them can pop out.
The thing is,
we're gonna get two Hulks. We're gonna get
if they brought Ed Norton back,
versus
you are out of control. You are out of control.
All right, now I think that's going too far.
But speaking of Hulk, let's hold off on the Secret Wars and let's reverse back into August. We got the She-Hulk show coming out, and I gotta say,
not excited.
They released.
I
wasn't at first, but I am now, because I now am seeing what the story is. One, I'm glad that they did the CG a lot better in this trailer, but two,
they did.
I'm seeing so much that has me asking questions. One, we now know she's the lawyer for the Thunderbolts because she's going to be representing Killmonger.
Yep.
Yes.
So then that means she has to get him off so they can go join this team. But then secondly, if you watch,
you say Killmonger?
Not Killmonger.
I'm sorry.
I was like, what timeline is this?
Killmonger.
What timeline?
I'm sorry. The Abomination.
The Abomination.
Okay.
It's my fault. The Abomination. But what also got me striking my mind is when I saw it, she's a lawyer in New York. I mean, in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Does that mean Daredevil is in Los Angeles now?
Well, they confirmed that he's going to be in there.
He's in the show.
Yeah,
he's in the show.
But is he there now? Is he in Los Angeles?
They got an 18-part series. They setting up a lot of shit, bro.
A lot of stuff.
She-Hulk
Wong
is 18? Oh,
no.
Daredevil.
Okay. And don't forget, Wong is in She-Hulk. Like, bro, and then here's why I'm excited about it too. It's funny.
Yeah.
They breaking the fourth wall. This is the first time that Marvel is actually talking to us.
Yeah. Which she does in the comic books as well.
Yeah.
And so that's very accurate.
Right. I listen. I like she. And then I knew when they did the first trailer, I knew the CGI was going to change. They weren't done yet. That takes a while.
Yeah. And they say that they're not going to be doing that anymore because Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was supposed to be shown at the San Diego Comic-Con, but because the graphics weren't ready, they didn't want to release it.
Also, they've been getting mad flack about their graphics for like the past 2 movies and episodes. Yeah. Like people been killing them. Like people was really like I said, we talked about it about Thor, about the floating head, and about like, bro, like that looked at Like it looked like I could have did that shit.
Yeah.
Like, so
Also, Ant-Man came out. They ain't showed that yet.
Yeah, they did show
teaser.
Ant-Man.
But they didn't show the trailer. They just showed a poster.
No,
They
they showed
had a whole teaser.
No, they showed the trailer at Comic-Con. Oh yeah.
Oh, but it's not out.
No, it's not out yet. Yeah. So we'll probably get it like maybe a month or so. But they have.
So that means they showed. That means they showed Kang in that motherfucker.
Oh,
they showed him. They showed him.
This man, Ant-Man, this how you know this shit. Shout out to John Majors because this man is really finna take it to the next level, bro. I seen the trailer when Ant-Man walked up to him and said, "Yo, I don't know if you know this or who you dealing with, but I'm an Avenger." Yo, when Kang walked out them shadows and said, "You're an Avenger. Have I killed you before?" And that shit just went off. And you see him in all his armor and the new cape and shit, because you about to see Kang as Kang.
He had a blue mask on. Yeah. And
he said, "Oh yeah, go ahead. My bad, Dion."
He said, I'm a conqueror. Have I killed you yet?
Yeah.
So
we get Kang the Conqueror in Quantumania. And then the way that they're putting it, this is not like Ant-Man 1 or Ant-Man 2. When I tell you they're about to be putting the shit, So I can't go fully into like what the story is confirmed, but what it seems like is Ant-Man, his daughter, and Wasp, and along with the original Wasp and the original Ant-Man are going into the quantum realm, and it's not what we think. And I think we're going to be put inside that micro planet that's in the quantum realm. And that's where we're going to get to see like Bill Murray's character, the rest of these folks, and really see what the quantum realm can do. And I do think that has something to do with not only time, I think that also has something to do with the blip and why people are getting sick, why people are getting powers as well. Because like I said before, I think when the snap happened, everybody was sent there. Because again, no one has confirmed them die. Because if you think about it too, everyone that we've seen blip, no one tells us what happened. Like, think about it. If you're a blip, where'd you go?
Yeah, I think they said it felt like you when only person that had talked about it was Peter Parker when he had said, I remember fading out and then all of a sudden I came back here. So I think it's kind of like a blink and he woke up like that.
It was just a transference of energy. And remember how they said in Endgame, when you transfer and when you're going through the quantum realm, time is very different. So even for Ant-Man sitting in the quantum realm for like a few hours, it turned into 5 years. So for them,
it felt like a few hours for him. It felt like 5 hours for him, but in real life, it was 5 years went by.
Yeah, and so it's just like, I think that does play a major part into it that we have not seen yet. But they've already said like, it is far different from the two Ant-Man films. Like this is about to get real.
Wow. How'd you see the trailer? All I seen was the from heavy spoilers. They showed like little images of it.
YouTube before they start taking them down. Like folks they'll catch that stuff, put it up, and I'm like, and then they'll have a screenshot of what you see. So that's why as soon as I saw Kang, I'm like, oh snap. Yeah. Because all I saw was the poster at first, and then they showed the trailer, like, the daughter in the suit looked dope. She looked dope. Yeah, I was I get that. Y'all look dope with these new ones. I can't wait to see what does.
You know what's crazy is like if I seen a movie a whole 6 months before everybody, that's not fair, man. So imagine if I had saw Wakanda Forever and I had no one to talk to about it.
That's torture. Like that's just pure torture for yourself.
You see me? I did. How was it? Oh.
I want to tell you, but I can't.
I can't, man, because you got a big mouth, man. You got a big mouth. I can't do this. Hey, I can I'm telling myself I can't wait to see it, but I'm like, even if somebody gave me access to watch it, I would be no good. Because there's nothing like
you know what it is? I would watch it. But the thing is, even in getting access, I could not help but say, like, okay, if I'm going, can 2 more people go? Like, we're about to share this pain together, okay? You're like, Dion, we gonna see this together, okay? We're gonna ride this out to November 11th, okay? Now you You call me. If I want to talk about it, I call you. I ain't facing this shit by myself.
Can you imagine that? You like, oh God, yo, Will saw it. Yeah. How was it, Will? I have an NDA. They say I can't say nothing.
Be like, yo, just tell me, yo, just give me a hint.
Just give me a head nod. If
I got friends too that'll be like, yo, just tell, because they'll still go see it, even if I tell them.
Yeah.
Like, no, bro, I'm gonna still go see it. Just tell me. Yo, who Black Panther?
Yeah. If someone gave you access to watch Wakanda Forever tonight, you think that would be torture for you? You think you can hold on to it, or you be like, you think you can be like, I'm good. I like.
Nah, I gotta watch it.
Hey, Clint.
I gotta watch it.
No, I'm saying. If someone gave you access to watch it today, you think you can hold on without telling no spoilers to nobody, or you just get tortured?
I'm gonna I have to talk about it.
Clint, that's why I told him. I said, if they gave that to me,
I have to.
Two people gotta come with me. Two people gotta come see this.
Yeah, so we can all talk about it. Yeah, we have to. Like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I would love to be inside, like, because you got to remember, Ant-Man's done. I would pay to be a fly on the wall in the meetings.
Oh man!
Like, I want to know what the writers' meetings are right now, talking about Phase 5 and Phase 6, because, bruh, out of all the titles they talked about, first of all, we can't breeze by the fact X-Men 97 is getting a continuation, and it's going to play, because here's the thing. People don't think animated series they're going to play a part in the big picture of the MCU.
No. So here's my theory on that. X-Men 97 is 838.
Oh.
I think X-Men 97 is a story for 838. That's what I think. And I think if they can show that, because again, too, we didn't see any other X-Men except Charles. And in this part, like in the series finale, when they first originally aired, he went to space. So that's why Magneto is now in charge of the X-Men when they return. I think that is the 838 story, and I think they're going to loop it in kind of like how Logan did with the X-Men comics. I think that it's lore. So like just picture like that playing, and then it zooms out, and then you see one of the X-Men that's in 838 watching that cartoon.
Oh,
that's what I think is going to be Yes. And then don't forget, y'all, there's one more piece to this. What If is a cartoon, and What If plays a part in the MCU. Yes. Like we saw that in real life.
And you know what I'm saying? The date for season 2 of What If to come out.
Yeah. So and then we got like things like the Living Tribute. Like it's so much shit that's about to go down.
So is it really? Honestly, is What If really a part of? I think it's just kind of fun.
I think it's not really I think it's an incubator. I think it's one of those, like, kind of like how they did with, and I feel like that kind of got confirmed with John Krasinski for Mr. Fantastic. I think they put that out there to see what it can do how we would possibly like this stuff. Because if you think about it, everything that came from out of there. So not only did we see, because one of the biggest episodes was Doctor Strange's when he decided to ruin the universe.
What if his hands?
So it's just like, we see that was one of the most popular ones, and they adapted to it. Even Marvel Zombies. Marvel Zombies is getting its own series now, and it's going to be rated mature. So it's not going to be crazy. So it's just like, I think that's one of those, like, hey, we'll put this out to test it out and see what people think. And it's like, okay, if we get that, how do we adapt that to the live action MCU? Because same thing with Captain Carter. It's like, Captain Carter was on there and we immediately got her.
Oh, yeah.
Madness.
Yep.
Which also leads me to believe if you saw, do you remember the last episode? Because again, because of what you told us as what was going to happen in Wakanda Forever, that last episode could be very real on What If.
Now,
you remember the stuff with Ultron?
That could actually, I could definitely see. Wait, this is the problem with doing what they are probably going to do. That it's not going to change. That is who they are, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
that's who they are. So yes, I would not be surprised at all if that.
And then if you think about it too, with what I said with the astro plane, that's the perfect place for that to happen. Because guess who also could be there that died in Age of Ultron? Ultron.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, he back.
So I think, like you said, what if and those cartoons are very important to watch, as Kevin Feige said, we're watching most of these series. And so I don't think we're really going to even jump into series outside of that, besides, of course, like the I Am Groot little mini series.
But no. The biggest one that's coming next year, I think it's next year, Loki 2. People forgot how big Loki. First of all, let's start here. We're talking about best films and best films and stuff in phase 4s. That's the best piece of Marvel work in phase 4 was Loki.
Yeah.
Loki really blew all this shit up. If you don't so think about what season 2 is about to be. And it's set. So and it looks like he's working for a Kang-driven TVA, which I think we're going to get hints at that in Quantumania or whatever. Bro, this is
of course outside of we know Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania is going to be the first step in phase 5. Also coming up next after that in the spring is going to be a Secret Invasion with the cat from Bridgington,
the Skrulls,
and us finding out about
and we'll see Nick
Samuel
Fury.
Jackson on the road. Nick Fury, and supposedly he's on the run, and that's why he's on this ship. So we're going to find out exactly what Secret Invasion has going on. And then next up is Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is supposed to be very emotional,
very dark,
very this is gonna be one of the ones that's supposed to have you
they talking about Hawkeye and
Rocket.
Yeah.
Wait, but then also too though, before I let you go, do shout out to James Gunn though. I love seeing when directors continue to keep folks that they work with, because the High Inquisitor that's being played, he also played on Peacemaker, which is what James Gunn made. So I love seeing him always taking care of his people and trying to bring them into the fold.
We all supposed to do that, just outside of look, man, I got the world.
I love what you did.
Will, you can't play spades, but you're a part of the show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're going to find somewhere for me to be.
Yeah. He can't play spades, but he's in the show. His name's in the credits. So I say all that to say, yes, that's always.
Well, you got
names in the credits.
What I was going to get to, guys, we're talking about the next phase, but we didn't talk about in Black Panther for this next phase, Ironheart. We got to see her create.
We talked about it.
No, we getting that. We getting Ironheart. We getting Ironheart. That's why we left that, because she is also going to be
getting a series.
She's getting a whole series.
Yeah, and then of course the one before those after Guardians of the Galaxy is Echo. Don't know much about Echo, but just seeing Echo in Hawkeye, it's one of those I'll be excited to see what your story is.
Yes. I gotta wait for the trailer for that one. For that one, I'm waiting for the trailer. Right now I have no hype for it. The trailer could change it though.
Yeah.
Do you understand how, as a writer, how great it is to have a deaf hero? So now, if their villain is sneaky like a ninja, you know what I'm saying? Now it's you can have so much fun, run, and then now the hero's kind of like trying to they don't know how, they're handicapped.
What a funny example of that, if they're in the hallway fighting and she get hit in the back of the head with a clip or something, and she look at the person it's hey, I told you to look out.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It's so much to add on to, because now she has so many feats.
The rest of her senses are going to be heightened. So I'm excited.
Right. Yeah.
Matter of fact, the visual effects of that is what I would probably get excited about. How are you going to portray that?
Well, for me, it's going to be the production side, kind of like Dion said. So being able to play with sounds and stuff like that. So even during her fight scenes, imagine if the sounds are muffled. And so when we're hearing these punches, these hits, they're kind of muffled because you're hearing it from her perspective. Or even when she's doing something else, you can kind of see the different senses kicking in. And just kind of like how they did with Daredevil. They didn't really I would have loved to see Daredevil have a fight scene with the version of what they give them. Like, yo, what do you see? It's
Right,
like everything's on fire. I would have loved to seen
Ooh.
that kind of fight sequence.
I wonder if they strayed away from that because the movie leaned in heavy on it and the movie was trash.
Probably so, but it's just like I think those are the things if you focus on a little bit with Echo and Daredevil, it makes them more unique, especially into their series.
Yep.
If Echo and Daredevil team up, that'd be a dope ass combination.
I think
they can't really communicate with each other, but they can't they use their strengths with each other.
Well, no. So that's the thing too. So it's like if you see those pairings of how that could work. So it's just like even too for them, like how do you connect those two to be able to work in cohese, and, together and everything.
Yeah.
Too, though, I would love to see the two of them fight. And so you see the advantages or the disadvantages of him being blind and her not being able to hear, and how they use that to their advantage. That's the stuff I love.
Right. So let me ask y'all this, man. Out of everything coming out in Phase 5 and Phase 6, and they didn't announce everything, because we know we're getting another Spider-Man film. We know we're getting, what I'm saying? We're going to get the X-Men. What are you guys most excited for in the next phase?
Well, I know the rest in Phase 5.
Next two phases.
Loki season 2 is also part of Phase 5, as well as the Marvels, Blade, Ironheart, the Daredevil series, the next Captain America, New World Order, and then Agatha, Covenant Chaos. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm excited for.
Damn, it's probably
every
easy
fucking thing they finna do. I'm just gonna be honest.
What we not excited for.
I'm ready for if you telling me what I'm least excited for.
I'm a simple guy. I just want these films to start connecting. That's all I want. And then when it start connecting, now I'm like, oh, now she's gonna be a part of this. Like
You
sound
like my friend Mo. But I get it. You sound y'all.
Nothing
exactly
has connected. They have literally created. If all these films,
they're starting from scratch, though.
100%. And we talked about it last time. It felt like they had a 10-year plan. They had Endgame, and then somebody was like, "Hey, that's it, y'all. Good night." And it was like, "No, keep going. You got to create 20 more films." It's like, what? Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Right now? Okay, yeah. Let me get some writers together, and let's start from scratch. It's too many new starts versus like that's why I like Hawkeye because it was still tagging on to Endgame. That's why I like WandaVision because it still was a tag on to the other one, but it's still continuing. So those felt Loki was a continuation from Endgame. So like everything that was a continuation, but still kind of helped the MCU. That's what I loved about it. So I hate the ones that.
Maybe it's a better way to look at it like this, though. Let's look at it as instead of connecting just the storyline, you're connecting the pillars and world that's needed to continue on. So, like Miss Marvel introduced mutants. So now we want to know. And again, and think about it too, the term X gene has not been created yet. So now you have that going throughout this entire MCU. If you go back to like WandaVision introduced us to the combative force that has to deal with these people. Because like how Wong said, Wong Wu is basically a counselor for superheroes. Like he has to figure out them mentally. So we got all these underlinings of what the underbelly was, of what the mythical side was, the astro planes, and I'm glad they did that with characters that we don't really know too well, because then in mixing a origin story in, you were able to give us these new layers that I'm thinking that in these next phases we are gonna see start piecing together. Like I believe Quantumania is gonna connect all of these things. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is going to show us from the big side of the space realm of what's going on and the ramifications of everything that's happened. Because too, we've yet to see the ramifications in the universe after the blip. What happened to all these planets when everything else blipped? We don't know, and I hope to see that in Guardians of the Galaxy. So I feel like they're leaving pillars of us that's going to connect everything, just kind of like how y'all said in the last episode, like Thor 2. You'll go back to it like, that's why the ether makes sense. Or even with Eternals, now I see why they didn't show us this dude in the hand thing, because they were waiting to show us here. Okay.
The thing that I'm excited to see the most I think.
Let's
I
go.
got 3 now. So after
I'm ready to see. I'm ready to see the what the next Avengers film is going to look like.
Okay.
Like I'm glad they called it Avengers Kang Dynasty. You know what I'm saying? Which means is that this is an Avengers film. You know what I'm saying? However, this is about to go or whatever. Who are the Avengers now? That's going to be the question.
So
remember they gave us 2 Avenger movies though coming.
Yeah.
Secret Wars and Kang.
I know, but I'm strictly focused on Kang Dynasty because that's going to be the first one.
So hear me out with Kang Dynasty. So imagine if they told it like this. Imagine if this movie is told through Kang's eyes.
Well,
not the Avengers, through his eyes and all his versions. Ooh. If you are allowed to do that, there's a lot of Avengers you're going to see him come across, people who need to be put together, and that would be the perfect place, if you're not going to do it in Fantastic Four, for us to see the unification of him and Dr. Doom.
And here's what also makes the Kang Dynasty one and just in general, they pulled a DMX. They're giving us 2 Avenger movies in the same year. Like in the same year.
Just to throw that out there, DMX is the only artist to have 2 #1 albums in the same year. And not the only rapper, not the only artist. I think the only other artist I think that did it, like I gotta check it, might be Justin Timberlake. He had the 2020 experience.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, DMX is the only. So we're talking. You gave that reference. Both of the movies got to be like that.
Oh, they're going to be. We know for a fact. Like I know for a fact both of the movies, because then it's like that means that, because like if you look at all the Avengers movies, we had the events of Avengers, and then we had to wait 4 or 5 years for the next event of Avengers. This time we're going to get Avengers, and then immediately 7-8 months down the road, we're going to get what happened next. Like they're about to hit us hard.
Yeah, it's Infinity Wars and Endgame. And remember, the name of these phases 4 through 6 is the multiverse saga. Mm-hmm. So that's the reason why I say, even with Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, I think we're going to see him more, and it's going to be told through his eyes. Like I think that's what we're also going to see. And you know, it's funny, very on point for him to be named the Council of Clint's. That's where we see the Council of Clint's.
That's why I named myself that, and that's why I'm the most excited about that film. Like I'm excited to see the Council of Kangs, because it's about to be a bunch of evil motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. And then I think the Secret Wars is going to come with the only hope to save the universe is they got to go find that motherfucker Iron Lad. And then they got to go back to the third. Yeah.
I was gonna say Kevin Feige said that, like, if matter of fact, that's who they gonna want to, they're trying to anchor, because Kevin Feige did say, like, I feel so confident to pass the torch on to him. You know what I'm saying? To put it on Jonathan Majors' shoulders. And so it's like Jonathan Majors is going to play a big role in these next few phases. And that's why, like, Quantumanium is probably, like, outside of Wakanda Forever, Quantumanium is my top, because I'm like, all right, I got to see why. Like, I know why in comic book why, but like I want to see why he's going to, like, how they're going to tell this story on how beastly he's about to be and how pivotal to this story. Like, I can't wait to see that unfold.
I'm gonna go with in the phase 5s, Loki season 2, just because I think that's
gonna open some shit up.
That's what we're gonna get to see, like the what really happened in that multiversal war and how he really ended it, and you get to see the different versions of these TVAs and how it is. One thing I am gonna get is
can I ask, He Who Remains, was he a bad guy?
Yes. All of them are villains. So technically, that is the one that is like over 1 million years old that survived. The reason that makes him a villain is because he continues that same cycle to keep going. Yep. That's why him inventing the one timeline, that was another part of his plan to stay in control. So he technically is still evil, but the thing is, he's cursed because he'll keep dying and know that he'll have to be put back in that place. So that's the thing that he's probably, even what this may be around too, is them trying to find out how to go past that and get to, like, these celestial type of powers.
Let me ask you this. Will, help me out. What is Kang the Conqueror's objective? Like, what is he trying to conquer?
Everything.
Well,
He wants to rule. He wants to be king supreme ruler. So that's why it's the battle of the lesser evils, and that's the curse. Is that there's so many kings, and each of them wants to be the one. So they end up causing and fueling all these wars, and that's what fuels that secret war. Because it's like, no, I'm going to run, and this king is like, no, my universe. So it's like all the kings really are the ones.
And then also put into effect, Dion. Like we'll even use you for example, and Clint. Like how creative y'all are, and how y'all are able to like take things that you do and make stuff happen. Like for you with your studio, for the fact that Clint will write a show and he'll make that happen to be picked up, or the fact of to go on his own tour and make his own special, to the point of where all the details of what makes it fun. There's so much to be said, and such a respect to where y'all are game changers. So take your other versions, and instead of you focusing on that, I want to kill everyone. Take another version of you like that. I want to try to heal the world. And you keep making these different versions of yourself, and then they all come together like, hey, man, how y'all doing? And then one of y'all are just like, man, fuck you. And then throw that fucking spear through the heart. And it's like, what you doing? Multiversal war. Fuck yeah, I ain't know. I'm the only nigga in this bitch. Fuck you.
Wow.
That's exactly what it is, though, because I do always think about other variants of myself. You know, like I would love to meet other, like I would love to, like, and I mean, we're talking about like different timelines and branches and stuff like that. Like, I would love to meet a Clint who's not a comedian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what do I end up doing? Like, I would love to meet like 5 different versions. Like, what if I was in one dimension, one universe, I'm taller? What if I'm a hoop? What if I hoop? I don't know.
I would love to meet Republican me. You know, served.
That's hilarious.
I would love to meet that version. I just want to know what you look like.
Republican Will.
Republican Will, though, that'd be wild.
But I am excited. Those are the ones that I would say I'm most excited for. Everything else is going to have a lot of potential, a lot of things to bring in. But I think Avengers, Kang Dynasty, and the Secret Wars is going to be something that is going to, like, again, I think it's going to top Infinity Wars and Endgame. But the question now remaining is, even in calling John Major's character He Who Remains, what remains after this? Like, where do we go from here?
So that's the bigger question, because like I was talking to my lady, she was like, well, she's like, this is going to be the last Marvel film. I'm like, it's no way. That doesn't make sense. They're going to make, it's too much money to be made. So where do you go after Secret Wars? That's the question. Where do you go after everybody to beat each other up on a battlefield? What's next? I don't know. What do y'all?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like I look back on some of these phases, you know, like even like to mention again, like Blade comes out on my birthday for next year. So I'm very excited about that. But also too, it's just like, where do you place him? Like this, even like this whole like Agatha Coven of Chaos, like what happens after all of this? What happens to the young Avengers? Because it's like, even though I love seeing these folks, I don't give a fuck about the young Avengers like that.
Well, see,
like,
this is where I think they're opening up to, and we talked about this way early on. It's like, so when we was talking about the continuity, like how is Marvel, you know, like what run is this? And I felt like the MCU is its own individual run. When you think about comics and when they do like their new runs and everything like that, the one thing that creates the universe is that they do build those individual storylines and everything, where everything is, it doesn't have to connect anymore. And I think that that's what we're getting to. I think that they're going up until this point where now we can like, they can explode it and like, all right, we introduce all these. Now you can get an X-Men story that has nothing to do with the main timeline, but it's focusing on X-Men, but it's still connected enough where it's like, if we need to pull from here, we can. I think that that's where this is the movie version of comic books. We're getting.
So you feel like you feel like after this they'll move into more of like a Star Wars type of way they put stuff out. Like we'll see stuff come out. We know it's a part of this like MCU, but it doesn't have to necessarily
right.
Kind of like how we saw Boba Fett, kind of like how we saw.
And that's what they did. Remember they did that with X-Men. Like after we got the last stand, we got X-Men First Class, which had nothing to. It really didn't have anything to do with, you know, the X. They made it in Days of Future Past. But I mean,
you're touching on something with that one though.
but think, well, that's a whole nother theory. I know
Right.
that they think that this Marvel timeline has something to do with that movie too, which is, but I do believe, I think so. I was looking around to see who is a better version, who's because like the big villain they're ended up with is Kang and Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
But my thing is, who's better than them niggas? And
Well,
I think isn't it Galactus?
Yeah, and they said that's also supposed to be being introduced into these next two phases. So it's just like, I guess the next step would be the celestial versions, like them, the Living Tribunal, the Beyonder, like all of them, I guess. And even like we have too, like the Watcher. So I would guess that would be the next phase. But again, too, like how we just said, it's like it's very hard to see them getting ready to be prepared for that with what they've introduced to us. And so even from like what Deuce said, even tonight, what you just said about the X-Men thing, we this is all just theory, but in this next phase, I think that's what we'll start getting outside of like the big Avengers buildup. I think we'll have like these multiple versions of stuff, and like how Clint said, like with X-Men, you had First Class, and then you have this one where we bring this mashup together. So even for like Marvel, like the Miss Marvel, your mashup is the Marvels. Yeah. And so like even like for like Loki after like 3 seasons could build up to Thor 4 that has him locked in, and that's what closes that out. So I see them moving more into that, like how you said, it's like it doesn't necessarily have us leading to an Avengers like event just yet, but us being able to open up more stuff that we wouldn't necessarily think to see. Like we could potentially start getting a Midnight Sun before like 2030, or like even like the one where you combine Daredevil, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, and all of them and stuff like that. So I see that as being the next move after phase 6.
Mm-hmm.
I see it too.
Yeah,
which I would be excited about, because then they get to dive deeper into like said solo characters, and because there's a lot of dope people who have dope stories that doesn't necessarily need to be told into the main timeline. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the Jubilee story, getting that story, like as much as important as she is, being able to get Jubilee's story in full, whether it is like an episodic thing, whatever,
or Kate Bishop.
Yeah, right. Like so, it's like I'm excited for that.
Now you know what I am excited for that I would like to see, but I don't know if they're gonna do it. I would love to see in the Marvels, but I know they can't do it. I would love to see them introduce Rogue somehow.
Somebody said that. Somebody, I believe, and I think they can do it. Why can't
and I would love to see her get her powers from Captain Marvel and almost kill her. I would love to see that, because I don't know if y'all know that's how she got her powers.
Yeah, well, see, that's the age. Like, if we are able to get a Dark Phoenix versus Wanda on screen, like there's certain things that is like, if we can get those, like,
but we can in Secret Wars.
Yeah.
But here's the possibility of what could happen, but here's what could also be a fuck up. Because what you just said in that one, so remember, like I said, the idea is Secret Wars is going to happen on the astral plane, the astral world. And so I think, like, let's say, for instance, you got Wanda there. She could face the First Class version of Dark Phoenix. She could face Fox's version of Dark Phoenix, or a new wholly recast version of Dark Phoenix. That's the possibility Secret Wars could give us. But that could also be a downfall too, because it's like, yo, you give us Famke Jensen fighting Elizabeth Olsen, and we just like, wait a minute. So she here, but Hugh Jackman ain't here. Hold the fuck up. Like, who picked these people? We should have picked who gonna be in Secret Wars. So I will say that,
and they're definitely gonna have Hugh Jackman in one of these movies.
Oh yeah. So that's what I want to know before we get out of here, though. Since we do know Secret Wars is coming, we've already talked about the Kang Dynasty and what could happen. Who out of everything, from not even just MCU, I'm talking about anything Marvel, name me 3 that you want to see end up in Secret Wars, cameo wise, anything. It's just like, yo, I want to see them appear in Secret Wars.
So for me, I definitely want to see Hugh Jackman. He's number 1. Right. Number 2, I want to see Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. And number 3, I want to see. And I want to see. I want to see the first class X-Men. So like I want to see that. I want to see. I want to see all. I want to see that version of Charles Xavier. I want to see that version of Magneto. I want to see that version of all of them. All of them.
All right, I'm gonna go with some of the people.
I gotta jump in a second though. By the way,
yeah, I'm gonna go with some of the people that Clint didn't say just for conversation reasons, right? I wanna bring in. So I'm gonna throw one. I want to see Kelsey Grammer's Beast.
Ooh, nice. Yes,
because I thought Kelsey Grammer's Beast was fucking amazing.
It was great.
Yeah, like he was killing it as that.
I like him better than the other Beasts, actually. Believe it or not.
Oh yeah, no, I did too. I do too. I like Kelsey Grammer's Beast.
Yes.
Yeah, I like Kelsey Grammer's Beast. I actually want to see what's the actor's name that played Sabretooth, the second one.
Live something. Yeah.
I want to see his Sabretooth because I thought his Sabretooth was pretty beastie. Dog.
I wasn't connected to Sabretooth like that though. Like I didn't.
You know what it was for that is I would have loved for them to show him at the beginning like they did. Where they missed the ball was they should have showed him making his transition into the Sabretooth we know.
Yes.
Because that's the thing most people I don't think know about their whole like genealogy is Wolverine was supposed to end up like Sabretooth. The animanium keeps him human and from losing his mind and turning into that primal beast that Sabretooth.
Him going to, what's the guy's name? What's the
Stryker?
Him going to Stryker actually low-key saves him from becoming.
Exactly. Yeah. And we learned that too in one of the comics when Magneto pulls all the animanium out of him and he had to burn out his whole healing. When they went and found him, he was feral. Like this nigga was in bushes, like ready to attack you. Like it was one of those, like those type of things. So that's why I can agree with you on your Sabretooth. So
and that's why Wolverine can smell. His sense of smell is always like,
it's hype.
And in my third one, this is going to be way out of left field because I felt like he didn't get a good chance and I was excited about him. One of my favorite characters in X-Men always have been Gambit. And oh boy, that was in Wolverine Origins. I felt Gambit. Like he was a good cast for Gambit at that moment. And I felt like they didn't give him a fair shot. And I was so pissed off about that. And I was like, Taylor, I think his name was Taylor Kirsch. I probably pitched, but I thought he was going to play an amazing Gambit. And that would be my third.
Yeah, and I think John Carter kind of fucked that up too. So hopefully again, it's Disney, so hopefully he get his redemption for it.
Yeah, man.
My three that I'm gonna go with, first one off top, just because he's the godfather of all of this. I want to see Wesley Snipes' Blade make an appearance in here.
Okay.
I would love to see him make an appearance, and just to stray away again too, from the ones y'all use. I would love to see a Cap Human Torch and Michael B. Jordan Human Torch cameo.
That'd be
I
crazy.
would love to see the three of them just have a conversation with each other.
Yeah.
And then of course, last but certainly not least, because we haven't seen it, I would love to see the symbiotes be introduced into the Secret Wars, and I get to see Spider-Man's suit and also get to see Venom. So those are the three I would say if you want to bring anyone in the Secret Wars, I would be very much excited to see. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. Let us know in the comments below, how did you feel about the announcements of Phase 5 and Phase 6? And then also let us know too, and what would be your three cameos you would like to see in Avengers Secret Wars. And like we said previously in the episode, if you're going to go check out Eric Voss and the New Rockstars Easter egg breakdowns of the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer, as Deuce said, go let them know, hey man, the fellas at the Strata Comic Book Place sent us over and we are now fans because they are always making sure that they reference y'all and what the hard work that y'all do. But before we get out of here, I know it's just us left because we're all very busy. So I always appreciate y'all taking y'all time. But Deuce, I'm gonna let you have the floor to let people know what you got rocking and going and where to find you like always.
All right, man. Follow me at young_deuces everywhere. Follow us, the podcast at Geekset Podcast. Man, we are on this journey of doing the Black Geek documentary. We're going con to kind of capture the culture and everything. Shout out to Will helping us out with this, man. We brought Will into the fold, man.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
so
indeed.
you know, I don't know when this is coming out. If it comes out, if you see Will at Crunchyroll Expo, you know, yeah, make sure you guys talk to him and everything. But yeah, we're going con to con. We kind of put out a little graphic about it, but yeah, we're capturing the culture. So man, check us out, man. Follow us on this journey.
Yes, indeed, man. I hope y'all do indeed follow his journey. Keep that same energy going, because this documentary is going to be something to very much appreciate for all the blurred culture. So I do want to thank my guest, of course, Eric Deucemonger, for joining us, as well as Dion Black and the Counselor Clint. Like we said, most of them are busy. So, you know, when we got to go, we got to go. But like we said, thank you for checking out this episode of Straight Outta Comic Book. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, for this channel. Share the video, share the clip, so that way we can keep this community going of Black successful men and women being able to release their inner nerds and have a safe place to talk about it.
Yeah.
I've been your host, Will Pharaoh, and I will catch you next time.
Oh.
You don't know what you do to me. You don't know what you do to me.